Great evening, everybody. Good evening. Come on in the room. Tonight is the night we are doing our She's More Now Connectional resource. As you're coming in the room, say hello. This is our resource that we have once a month where we invite our guests in to share with us. And trust me, you're in for a treat on tonight. I promise you. As always, we have a guest that's going to deposit some things into us. And if you don't already know, our topic for tonight is the better me restored. And I don't know about you or what restoration looks for you or what in pursuit of a better me looks for you, but all of us should be in pursuit of a better us. We should never be settling for where we are. So as you're coming in the room, please say hello, like and share this video. I am sharing it as well. And as you're coming on in, say hello. Hope you've had an amazing day thus far. Hey, Erlene, how are you? Thank you, darling. And so listen, as always, we understand that one of us does not know. We grow is through collaboration. The way we grow is through partnering with others. The way we grow is literally through connecting with other people, because there's always somebody else that has a different viewpoint than you. Hey, Marnay, how are you? There's always a different person that has a different aspect, something else to pour into you. And when we are talking about I am restored, I am in pursuit of a better me, you need different deposits and different things that will come into you that will be able to show you what you are, what you need to be, how you need to get there. Sometimes you just need that extra oomph. Sometimes you just need, hey, niece, how are you? Sometimes you just need that extra push, because listen, sometimes you just need a different perspective. Hey, Miss Darlene, how are you? And so listen, my guest tonight has an amazing podcast that's called Progress on Purpose. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep. Let's see how I had to write it down because I was switching it around. It's called Progress on Purpose. And when you are in pursuit of a better you should be always seeking to progress. But there always should be purpose in everything that you do. So listen, guys, you already know. Say hello. I'm about to add her to the stream. There she is. I'm about to mute her.
Hello, everyone.
And so listen, if you haven't already.
No, I lost your sound.
Oh, there you go.
It's back.
So if you haven't already subscribe to our podcast, you need to do it. That's what you need to do. Because trust me, the episodes are me. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to her. I'm going to turn it over to her. For some reason. Wait a minute.
Is my volume too loud or anything?
We're going to get this back. I don't think it's yours. Do you hear the echo? I
don't hear the echo.
Okay, it might be. So you're good. But hey, Courtney, how are you? Like video on this live. Your life is going to be changed tonight. I believe that she's multitasking. She makes stuff. She got a podcast. She's probably going to do everything. And hopefully she'll start her website. Hopefully she got some Okay.
It's still.
So there it is. So what it's going to be is I'm going to have to mute Meshele because your volume may be louder than mine. So I have to mute you because there was an echo. Courtney, is there still an echo? Let me know, Courtney. Because we may have to talk one at a time because there was a big echo. Okay, the echo is gone now, so we'll just be toggling back and forward. Not a problem at all. I want them to hear everything that you have to say because I believe in everything that Progress on Purpose has. I believe in everything that it has to say. And so, without further ado, I'm turning it over to the queen herself, Lady Hardy. Her husband got some good food too. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. But we're going to turn it over to her and let her deposit into us how to be a better me. So, welcome my guest at this time, you guys.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Shavana, for the invitation. Really, really appreciate being able to share with everyone this evening. And I pray, it's my prayer that what I have to share encourages and even helps, someone along the way. When I thought about this topic, being restored, I think it's perfect for me because it literally has been the storyline of my life. So I have to start at the beginning, and I was one of those people who, like many women, especially us, Black women, we work really, really hard, and I was one of those people who check the box. So I followed the status quo and I checked the box. I got really good grades when I was in grade school. I even skipped a grade. I graduated high school number 2 in my class. I got a full scholarship when I went to college. I picked a really impressive major. I majored in molecular biology, partially because I thought it sounded really cool, and partially because I was interested in medicine and in research. And out of that, I was offered a full ride to a master's PhD program. And I was also really involved when I was in college. I went to Montclair State University here in New Jersey. I was the first Black student to sit on the board of trustees. And I got really, really close to the president of the school at the time. And so much so that she one day she was like, "Where are you from?" Like I guess I impressed her so much. And to this day, we still maintain a great relationship. So from the outside looking in, you would think Meshele's on the track to just be, I mean, she can do whatever she wants and she can live the life that, through hard work, through sacrifice, I could get anything I want because that's what, we're taught, right? And, so from the outside looking in, Meshele was looking pretty good. However, my life took a very interesting turn towards the end of college and even after college, right? So I'm 35 now, so we're talking quite a few years ago, but trust me, there was a lot that has happened within that time. So what I realize now, because hindsight is 2020, I realize now that it was the Lord's doing, and He was allowing me to learn some things, not only about myself, but about Him in the process. He was working in some things in me, as well as working out some issues that went unnoticed, went even unpronounced. I had no idea that they were even there, but it now I realize that what He wanted me to see was that no accolade could match who He is and who He wanted to be in my life. So I went down this bumpy path. Let me tell you I'll tell you about 4 very interesting things that happened. So the first is, I told you about that PhD program. It was a full ride. I got accepted to the program and I turned it down. Can anybody guess why I would turn it down? I'll take 2. You can put them in the chat, and I'll give you a couple of seconds there. But I turned that program down after speaking to my advisor, who had worked really, really hard to get me accepted to the program, and you know, guided me step by step on everything that I needed to do. At the end of the day, I ended up turning it down. Well, I see Raina saying it would cause me to relocate. Actually, no. It wouldn't have caused me to relocate. It was at Rutgers University in state. So it was a program between Rutgers University and at the time UMD&J, which we now know as Robert Wood Johnson. So it wouldn't have allowed me to relocate. Let me just tell y'all, I turned that program down because I was dating someone. It's always just, that's what it all, but it boils down to, I was dating someone who simply said, when I told them that I got accepted, they said, well, you could just go to school down here, because the person lived in Florida and I was engaged to him at the time. And he was like, that's nice, but you could go to school down here. And without communicating with any of my family members, without seeking counsel from anybody else, I went back to my advisor after I had gotten accepted and I turned the program down. Now, hindsight being 2020, I realized that I didn't value guidance. I didn't value guidance because I had years and years of experience, and I already shared, that taught me that the decisions that I was making prior to were good ones, right? And you know how it goes. If we think that we're making good decisions, we don't always check in. I mean, at that point, I wasn't even thinking about really praying about it. I was just, the normal, natural, I didn't even talk to my parents. So that's one thing. Right after I graduated college, I began attending a ministry that was cult-like. I hate to use the word ministry because I don't want to confuse them with the experience that I had. So I attended a cult-like place that was led by a narcissist, and I stayed there for 7 years. And during that time, there was so much harm done to me emotionally and spiritually that it was the first time I had ever experienced anything like that in my entire life. And again, I was naive, and I realized that now, hindsight being 2020, that I didn't value the voice of God. I had been raised in church, been in church all my life, but didn't know God's voice in the way that he wanted me to. So like I said, I believe that every experience that I went through, even as harsh as that one was for me, it was to teach me some lessons, to work out some things that God wanted for me now. And so I realized, hindsight, of course, being 2020, that I didn't value God's voice. And as a result of that experience, it taught me to truly value God's voice. So much so that in actually August of, I believe it was 2014, or yeah, I think it was 2014, I prayed. I remember sitting on the couch and I said, Lord, I'm tired. I said, God, I'm sorry. I began repenting, and I said, God, I'm tired of everything that I'm experiencing. I need to get out of here. Unfortunately, I don't have time to tell you the entire story, but just know it was ugly and it was rough. And I said, God, I'm tired. And so from that moment, the very next day, I went to go speak to some friends of mine who basically prayed for me, told me how to get out, told me what to do. And before the end of that weekend, I was out of there. And I failed to say this in the beginning. The topic, we know, is the better me. But my subtopic is, I had no idea that I would like this me more. So now you've heard part of my story. You've heard that I've been through some things, and that even my entire 20s. So I joined that cult at the age of 23. I didn't leave till I was 29. right before, my 30th birthday. So I missed a lot of things. But prior to, this with everything that I shared about all of the degrees and accolades and all that stuff, I was liking me, you know. And so to go through such a hardship, I didn't realize that one, I would have ever liked the new me. Um, I remember distinctly two instances. One is, of course, after leaving the cult. I was attending church with a college friend of mine and her husband, and they were married. And I remember sitting in the back seat of the car as we were driving to church, and they didn't know this, but I was crying my eyes out because I just saw how what I wanted, which was love and relationship and a family for myself, I felt like I would have never been able to get there now. I went to therapy for over a year after being in the cult, simply because I couldn't understand, one, how I allowed myself to get there, and two, I remember distinctly saying, God, I just want to be normal again. I just want to be whole. Like, I remember always telling God that after that experience, like having panic attacks. I don't know if anybody suffers from that, but it is something that you can be in a state in your mind where you just don't know how you're going to come out of that experience. And I distinctly remember asking God, how am I going to ever come out of that? Ironically, though, a couple of things happened right after I left the cult. One being, I channeled my energy into starting a business. I didn't know it was a business at the time, but I learned how to sew right after, or actually a little bit before I left. I started learning how to sew, and after I left the cult, I started a business. But the sewing process was so peaceful for me that it allowed me to heal. Even so much so that my business, so naturally talented, when I tell my story, I let people know that this business was birthed in pain, and it was birthed from a place of healing. And so to this day, it remains, my heart and my baby, because it brought me through some hard times. Not only that, so I told you I left the cult before the end of that weekend. I left by that Saturday. That Sunday, which is so ironic, I attended church with the two friends who I told you prayed for me, and my now husband, who Shavana knows, was the drummer at the church. I didn't meet him that day. He saw me that day, though, and he to this day says that I was a breath of fresh air. And he wanted to know who I was because, he had never seen me. And of course, you know how it go. A couple of months later, they hit the friend up like, who's that girl you brought to the church? And of course, me being, with everything that I had gone through, I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody, okay? So throughout this entire, I would say the next year or so, again, more healing, more therapy, more learning how to love this new me. So today, even with all of the wonderful things that Shavana shared about, my businesses, as well as the podcast, none of that would have ever been realized, I believe, had God not taken me through or even allowed certain things to happen in my life. He allowed me to see the value of guidance and the value of his voice. He also allowed me to see the areas in which I was prideful, and how, and the Bible says that pride leads to a downfall. Right before a downfall, there's pride. I didn't realize, and it's so funny because when I was in my early 20s or even like teens, I remember saying like life is easy. Like I don't understand when people would be like, "Oh, keep on living," you know. I didn't get that, but now I do. But at the time, you just don't know. But I say all of that to say that God, the well, even the Bible says that your latter will be greater, right? I used to think that scripture was speaking of prosperity, but now I believe that and at least to me in my interpretation, when it comes to my ladder being greater, it means that I will have more peace and forever more peace, as well as my relationship with God will be greater than ever before, especially in my experience. So I want to leave you all with this question. What process has God taken you through to not only make you better, but also how has it allowed you to like you even more than before, like the better you? So I hope that my story is encouraging. Of course, I can take any questions. I know I had to kind of skip through some things, but be encouraged.
Everybody, see, I told you with some stuff, there's some nuggets that you were gonna get. So listen, y'all always know I always got a pen and piece of paper. So the first thing I want y'all, and it ties into a question that she just asked you. She said, and this I had to write it down when she said it. Meshele said, I never knew I would like this me better. Now, Janella, Earlene, all of y'all are in my cohort, my Breaking the Box cohort. Doesn't that sound familiar? You never know that the person that you are today, back then, during the midst of the actual journey, through the midst of the process, you never imagined that you would like this you better than the person you thought you were back then. Because here's the dynamic to all of that. When we're in the middle of a press, or when we're in the middle of chaos, or when we're in the middle of what does not look good or feel good, we're not really looking at it that it's developing better. Let's be truthful. We're not really looking at it that it's really this what I'm in right now is developing better. So this what I am in right now is actually what is the very canal through which better is coming. And here's the dynamic we have to understand. A canal is very slim. A canal is very dark. It's not many things that can go through a canal. So sometimes that canal feels lonely. And so oftentimes when we're in that canal, we do not make the connection that that's the journey to better. Who would have thought that her being in a cult-like atmosphere would have been the journey to better? Who would have thought that giving up that PhD program was a part of the journey to better? Who would have thought that, having to actually go get therapy and having to actually sit back and sit with herself and deal with the various things that she couldn't even share with us today? Who would have actually thought that that was the journey to better? Because here's the dynamic what you have to understand. Let's be truthful. And I'm gonna unmute Meshele, but let's be truthful. Here's the reality. If she would have got what she has now back then, she'd have messed it up. How do I know? Because I know that if I would have gotten what I have now back then, I would have messed it up. So what am I trying to say? There are some things, hindsight, what she said, 2020, there are some things that were necessary pains that we had to go through in order for us to develop to get what we have now. Y'all are praying for stuff and you want it to come. Guess what? A part of that journey is going to be uncomfortable. A part of that journey to a better me, going to be a little lonely. A part of that journey to a better me, you ain't going to like it too much and you ain't going to look too cute on the journey. But when you're in pursuit of a better you got to have that attitude that I want all, what she said, I want all that God has for me. So whatever that journey looks like, whatever that journey, I know we make it look like it's cute right now, but that journey was ugly, honey. I can't tell her story. Let me tell you about mine. That journey was ugly. That journey was nasty. The journey was in the dirt. That journey came with little potholes. That journey came with some failures. That journey came with some mistakes. That journey came with some upset, some tears, some that. That journey didn't look good, y'all. But what she said, hindsight 2020. So here's my question to you while you're considering Michelle's question. I'm going to ask you this. How long are you going to cheat yourself out of your authentic self? I'll ask you this. While you're pondering the two questions that she gave you, my question to you is your third question that you need to ponder. How long are you going to cheat yourself out of your authentic self because you don't want to be in pursuit of a better you? Many of us are complacent and we're comfortable because we think we have to be. Some things got to get shook up. I'm trying to listen. I'm about to unmute Michelle. Let me tell you. She didn't get where she is. She did not get. Okay, Michelle, you going to have to unmute yourself. Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna mute myself. But listen, she didn't get where she was, where she is now, without that story. That story. So Michelle, tell them the importance of therapy.
Woo! Okay. If you've never been to therapy or you have a view of therapy where you think that it's going to pull out some stuff that you don't want to uncover, you're absolutely correct. And spoiler alert. But in the process and on the other side, you'll be so much better, not only for you, but for those around you. See, I believe that everything has to go somewhere. That's the thing that I love to say. Every single thing has to go somewhere, including emotions. So if you suppress your emotions, what ends up happening is they become a part of you. And so you'll start feeling aches and pains, and that's how people develop all kinds of symptoms or even psychosomatic disorders in their body, where you go to the doctor and you say, doctor, I have a headache and my stomach is hurting me every night. And the doctor does all these CAT scans and all this stuff and they can't find anything. Really what it is anxiety built up because of feelings that had to go somewhere. So what therapy does for you is allow you to put those feelings somewhere else. And a lot of the time it's as simple as taking it out of your head and facing it so that you can put it in its appropriate place. That's what therapy taught me, and even my therapist told me that. She said a lot of times we push stuff down, but instead of pulling it up, like let it come to the surface so that you can then face it and put it in its appropriate place. It has to go somewhere. Absolutely. For me, for me, I can share, and my husband, I believe he's still on here. He knows the benefits of therapy simply because he lives with me, and had it not been for therapy, it would have, and it did in the beginnings. And I actually had to go back to therapy for a whole different issue, but things spill over because they gotta go somewhere. So if you don't deal with it and if you don't appropriate things properly, they will. And here's the other piece about feelings and what we think about our different things. It becomes the lens through which we see our entire world. So you may think that you got over something that, someone hurt you, and you may think, or even just let you down, your mother, lets you down as a young person, or even, at whatever point in life, you may think, oh, it's okay, I can separate that, but you can't. And it becomes the lens through which you see everything in life. So when you're interacting with other people, other types of relationships, you view those relationships through the lens of what happened to you. And if you never appropriate those feelings, you will never be able to think differently. So I'm a proponent for therapy. 1000%. I actually can share with you all. An affiliate for BetterHelp.com. I have an affiliate code. I can put it somewhere. I'll send it to you, Shavana, because I'm a proponent for therapy, and what it will do is allow you to get 10% off. It's virtual therapy. You don't have to leave your homes 24/7, and you can speak to someone within 24 hours. And it's confidential and all that other good stuff. But it helps us. There's nothing wrong with going to church and going to therapy. There's nothing. Matter of fact, they complement one another. And so we have to begin at some point. We gotta stand up for our own. We have to take responsibility for ourselves and say, okay, yes, this happened to me. Yes, my mama did that to me and said that to me, but I don't have to stay there. Like, I'm an whole adult now. Like, I can move forward better.
Most definitely. So they'll tell you all the time. So I have a motto, and it actually is one of the excerpts from my book that simply says, I am not what happened to me. It is simply put, I am not what happened to me. And it's from the same premise of, yes, it happened to me. Yes, I know it was painful. Yes, I'm not ignoring it. Yes, I know it was present. However, it does not define who I am. And I tell people all the time, so yes, please give me the link, send it to me so I can share with my community, because I tell people all the time, sometimes you need to pray while you're sitting on the couch, or pray while you're sitting in the chair. But by all means, do not ignore the fact that you need assistance to tunnel through some stuff. And sometimes you don't feel comfortable talking to different people because you got some serious stuff you need to tunnel through. Go see that licensed professional. God gave us all gifts. And I tell people all the time, when they kick against therapy, you go to the doctor when you got high blood pressure. You go to the doctor when you got asthma. You go to the doctor when you break a leg, or whatever the case may be. These are the same kind of medical professionals. They only helping you to deal and cipher through your emotions, your feelings, because guess what? That's a part of your body too. So if you can go get your heart checked out, guess what? I'm going to get these emotions checked out. I'm going to get this mind checked out, because I will not be suffering from anxiety attacks or nothing, because I'm scared what you're going to think about, because the doctor and the preacher is going to the therapist. Nope. And when I finish, I'm going to say, thank you. Praise God for you, doctor. I appreciate you. God bless you. Because I'm thankful. Because, like, listen, y'all have to realize that there are some people, because we as a people have this stigma. If you study the history, we have this stigma about therapy and mental health and stuff like that. And so we have this stigma. So we as a people don't want to say we need to see a therapist. We don't want to say, because everybody say, if you go see a therapist, you crazy. That has nothing to do with it. That therapist helps me with different methods on how to tunnel through and face what is clouded my mind, what's become chaotic in my thoughts. It helps me to mellow all of that out, weed it out, get rid of what I need to get rid of, keep what I need to keep, change my perspective on some things. That's all it is. It's a teacher. It's a teaching method. It doesn't mean you're crazy at all. So for anybody that's on here today, you're struggling, you're scared, you're nervous, or whatever, go see your therapist. You're not crazy just because you go see a counselor. You're not crazy because you go see a counselor. Let me tell you, I have an earned doctorate, smart. Guess what? That therapist is my friend. So it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how many degrees you have. It don't matter what kind of job you have. It doesn't matter. If you need help, you need help. And we have to get rid of the shame of actually saying we need help. And that's why I asked Meshele, please give me that link. I want to share it in my community. I want to share it on my page, not just today, but I want to share it later. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to share it again. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to share it again. With all this COVID going around, I'm going to share it again. And around the holidays, when people dealing with grief, I'm going to share it again. Why? Yo, we have to, in the pursuit of a better us, when we're talking about restoration, being restored, being healed, being made whole, a part of that has to deal with your mentality, your mind, your emotions. All of that is part of you. So when we're talking about wholeness, let's deal with that too. Let's deal with
Absolutely.
that
And
too.
can I just add one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
So the link I have is BetterHelp. So BetterHelp.com/POP. Pop, right? Progress on purpose, but pop. I'll say it again. BetterHelp.com/POP. Most therapists that you can find, if not on BetterHelp, at any case, if they don't take insurance, many of them do, but if they don't take insurance, I know in the case one of the therapists that I went to go see, she didn't accept my insurance because she wasn't what is it called, in network. So what she did was she just gave me the bill. I submitted it to my insurance, and they took care of like 80% of it. So listen, ladies, when we want our nails pretty, we go to the nail salon. And when they are finished, they tell us how much it costs, and we say, okay. When we want our hair done, we go sit in that chair. They do their service, and they tell us how much it costs, and we say, okay. It's no different from our mental health. This can't be altered unless you allow it to be altered. And the Bible tells us that as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you realize that there are some things that you are thinking about that you want to change, you have to begin to get the help there. So that's why I say it's complementary. Look, it's all in the word.
Yep.
And we have to take the same approach when it comes to paying for everything else that concerns us in terms of our outward appearance, to work on our inward appearance as well.
Absolutely. So see, y'all, I told you. Once you came on here, I promised you. I made a promise to you that I kept. I promise you, you will receive something that will help you, something that will catapult you, something that will strengthen you. Listen, in pursuit of a better you, the better you is waiting for you. It's waiting for you. Are you willing to grab it? Are you willing to go after it? Don't cheat yourself out of the authentic you. Because I'm like Meshele, I love the me now better than I ever thought I would. And trust me, she ain't the same as she was 10 years ago. But I promise you, I've been posting and I keep telling people, when the smile comes genuinely from the inside out, I'm loving this me. I'm loving this me. And that's what you got to do. You restore. When you are restored, I know everything. We all got a story. We all got a testimony. We all got a journey. And some of us, we still got a journey to go. But pain will show you who you are. Pain will show you who you are. The question is, are you going to allow the purpose to come out of it? Are you going to grab purpose, or are you only going to be focused on the pain? You can have tunnel vision and only focus on the pain, or you can have a broad vision and look at the purpose. The purpose is to get you to a better you. So listen, if you haven't already done so, make sure I put the website right down there. MakeProgressOnPurpose.com. Make sure you go on over. Check out the podcast. Listen, I'm trying to help you. I'm on one of them too. So I'm on one of them. But make sure you go over there. It's many episodes, powerful topics, powerful speakers. I've listened to some of them. I listened to one earlier today. Go over, subscribe, play it, listen to it on your various channels. And so Spotify, Google Play, Apple Play, whichever play your play got, go over there and listen to it. And listen, but most of all, betterhelp.com/POP. Go. Go. If you need help, we don't got to know that you called. We don't even have to know nothing about it. Nobody has to know anything about it. It's just between you, God, and your therapist. Betterhelp.com. And she gave you the code, y'all. POP/POP. Go. If you need it, get help. So guess what? We all can start having a testimony. I'm loving this me. And guess what? Y'all, I'm honest and I'm not ashamed to say it anymore. It took me a while to get to this me. I'll be 41 in 2 weeks. Took me a while to get to this me. But now that I'm here, me and her about to ride it out. So listen, you better you. Why not just enjoy it? Be restored. Listen, focus on it. Be in pursuit of a better you. Make sure you seek the therapy that you need. Make sure you don't get stuck in what happened to you, but you get focused on where you are going. Be healed, be whole. Help me celebrate and honor my guest, Meshele Hardy. Come on, help me celebrate it. Put the comments and the likes in the comment section. Please, if this will be available for replay, sometimes you got to go back. You got to listen to stuff again. I do it all the time. Go back, listen to it again if you need to. But most of all, don't stop being a better you. Don't stop your restoration process. Don't stop your growing process. We are all in pursuit of a better us. Enjoy the journey. But most of all, don't forget, go subscribe to Progress on Purpose. Make sure you head on over. And most of all, thank you so much, Meshele, for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you more. Thank you for the invitation. And to
My
everyone who's
pleasure.
tuning in, I appreciate you all as well.
My pleasure. So listen, you guys, this has been the She's More Now Connectional resource where we come together, we collaborate, because guess what? We are better together. And so I hope that you receive something this evening. Thank you for hanging out with me. Guess what? I'll see you right back here Tuesday at 1 p.m. for lunchtime empowerment talks with Dr. Vaughn. And then again on next month on the fourth Tuesday of next month for our next She's More Now Connectional. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening, you all. Much love.